Alrighty guys, this is 3.4 multiplying rational numbers. Remember, rational numbers are numbers that can be written as A over B. So basically any number that is terminating or repeating. And so this is going to be your goal, that you'll be able to multiply rational numbers within 90% accuracy, provided 10 problems. One thing that we have to remember when we multiply or divide is that whenever we have for instance, two positives, we're going to get a positive answer. Same with the two negatives. We also have to remember that when we have a positive and negative multiply or divide by each other, that's going to give us a negative answer. And that same with the different order. The thing we have to remember is that even amount of negatives is going to result in a positive answer, and then odd amount of negatives is going to result in a negative answer. You can also use a little triangle. Negative times a negative gives you a positive. Positive times a negative gives you a negative. Okay, so let's go with decimals. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply those two. Now, I don't have to deal with the negatives and positives yet. So I'm going to take those two. And remember, I can change the order because of commutative property. So I'm going to do it this way just because I want to multiply just one time instead of 3 times. So then 4 times 7 is 28. There's a 2. 4 times 0 is 0. And then plus 2, that will be 2. And 4 times 3 is 12. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember, with decimals, we have to look at the decimal points, and then we have to check how many digits there are to the right of those decimals, to the right of those decimals in total. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. That's the number of digits that we need to have in our answer after the decimal point. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now I multiply positive times a negative, so that should give me a negative. So my answer should be negative 1.228. Okay, that is that for this one. I'm gonna also add you guys a Mexican way of multiplying, just to help you out a little bit, maybe with the timing and saving space as well. And remember, see how you can change it, because if I did it like this, besides that looking pretty odd to me, you have to multiply that to 3 times. So we have to do 4 times 7 is 28. And times 0, that's 0. And then I'm going to skip this place value. I don't write the 0 or the x. And then that will be 0. And then 3 times 4 is 12. And then you have to add them together. So you basically get the same answer, just in a different manner. Okay? Oops, that's a 2. So you get the same answer, just a little more work and more space. But anyways, now with fraction, remember when we multiply a fraction, we have to multiply straight across. So then I'm going to take that and here and here. I'm going to do that right now, and then I'm going to show you how to do the cross canceling that we did last year. So 2 times 9 is 18. And then 3 times 16. So I know that 3 times 6 is 18. I carry the 1 over, and then 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, that's 48. Now I have to simplify. Remember, any number that ends with an even number is divisible by 2, so I can start that. So then I will be 18 over 48. I know that there's a greater factor, which is 4, but let's start with 2. So that will be 9 over 24. And then I can, never mind, 4 doesn't work for 18. So that's it. Okay, so then, and I know that a negative times a negative gives me a positive, so this should be my answer. Now, you guys, if you want to save a little bit of time and just become a little more automatic when you're multiplying, I'm going to take those two numbers across, diagonally from each other, and I'm going to see if they have a common factor. 2 and 16 have a common factor of 2, so I'm going to say 2 goes into 2 one time, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. And I'm going to take my 3 and my 9. And a common factor is 3. So that's the greatest. So 3 goes into 3 one time, and then 3 goes into 9 3 times. And I'm going to just multiply those new numbers straight across. So 1 times 3 is 3, and then 1 times 8 is 8. Okay, so this should be my final answer, and that means that I messed up right here. I forgot. This is actually divisible by 3. So if I divide by 3 over 3, and the actual greatest common factor was 6, because I can divide this by 6, which is 3 and then 8. Okay, so I'll get the same answer. So see, I even make little tiny mistakes, or avoid it. I forgot to simplify again. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then 24 divided by 3 is 8. So I end up with the same answer, just I think one step less to do. Okay, so here we go. Now let's work with the mixed numbers. So for me to do my mixed numbers, I have to multiply my whole time as my factor, because I'm sorry, my whole times my denominator, because denominator is telling me how many parts, how many equal parts I'm cutting my whole into. So I want to see how many parts in total I have to be able to do this. So 1 times 4 is 4, and I'm going to add the extra slice over here. So 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5, so that's 5/4, and it's always the same denominator. And then times 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7, so 7/3. And I'm going to multiply it straight across. I don't see any common factors diagonally from each other, so then I'm just going to multiply. 5 times 7 is 35, and then 4 times 12, 4 times 3 is 12, okay? Now I have to simplify this. And the way that you simplify it is you can divide this, so we'll show you that in a minute, but let me show you the way that I do it in my mind. I'm going to say, how many times is 12 going to 35? Because that's basically what you're doing, right? You're dividing. I know that 12 times 2 is 24, and I know that 12 times 3 is 36, so I don't have enough for 3, so it's going to be 2. Now, I'm going to keep my same denominator as always, right? And then I'm going to say, okay, well, 2 times 12 is 24, but I have 35 of them, so that means that I need 9 more to get to, I need 11 more, actually. I need 11 more to get to 35, right? Because 35 minus 24 is 11, and I have a positive times a positive, so that's going to give me a positive, okay? So let me show you the other way of getting that the improper fraction into a mixed number really quick. So that's basically this, which turns out to be the first one in the house, like that. And that's going to be 2, and then you guys do this. I'm also going to add the dividing of Mexican way, so you can skip this step in writing, but you do it in your head. So that's 24, so that's going to be 11, so remainder of 11. So this number is my whole, so I'm going to write 2. And then I always keep the same denominator, right? Divided by 12, which is that. And then this number right here, my remainder is going to be how many extra slices or pieces I have left, okay? So let me give you work to do for your flip grid. Make sure that you explain how you do it and why you're doing it. So with decimals, let's do negative 0.07 times, let's do negative 4.5. Okay, with fractions, let's do 2/8 times 4/10. And then with the mixed numbers, let's do negative 1 1/8 times 3 1/5. Okay, so do those 3 for me, and God bless you. Remember, math is magic when you're awesome, and you can do this. Bye.